Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Bahashim Kodash. Double honors to my elders and my apostles of Great Milestone that do indeed well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect, the elect, and the one-third. Shalom. This is Brother Dawada, come back at you with another video through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. Today, the title of this video will be, Should I be celebrating the 4th of July? And we're going to get into this topic, and now this video will be edifying to the Lord's elect. Now, the inspiration for this video comes from or an instance that happened at the plantation today, which today, by the way, is July 4th, 2021, the year of haste unto the coming of the Lord, Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashai. All right? And it was crazy because it was like a different spirit at the plantation today, particularly where I work in the back room. And, they were talking, my coworkers that is, they were talking amongst themselves, going in on religion. And, when I say my coworkers, I'm talking about Jake, obviously. Esau, he don't believe in the higher power at all. But, and if he does believe in the higher power, he has to be white. He has to be that white meat, But, yeah, Jake back there talking about their different beliefs and, who's right and who's wrong and whether or not they should be celebrating birthdays or not and these other holidays or not. And they're arguing about their different religions and such. But Lord's will, I'll do a separate lesson on that because it was a few points that I want to zone in on. But anyways, a little bit later in the day, there was an Eve that said, or rather, Edomite that said, he asked me, hey, what are you doing for the 4th of July? And I told him, oh, well, I don't have much planned. I might go get something to eat, make me some food. Because you got to use wisdom around him. You can't tell him, no, see, I'm in the truth. See, I'm an Israelite. I don't do that. I don't celebrate that. You can't do that. You have to use wisdom. What did Yahawashi say? He said, I set you forth as sheep amongst wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So you got to use wisdom, all right? You got to use wisdom in any and everything that you do to the best of your ability because we're in the flesh, all right? Which, by the way, I think I failed to mention this before, this is an in transit, all right? Now, he asked me what I was doing, and I think I told him I don't have much planned. And then he proceeds to ask these two Jake women. He asked them, "Hey, well, what are you two doing for the 4th of July?" And the one said, she said, "Well, I don't have nothing to celebrate. We were still slaves during the time of the 4th of July." And when I heard that, I was like, "Whoa," especially that coming from a so-called black woman. That's rare. Because the so-called black woman is all into the different festivities of this world, especially social media. They're heavily into that. They're heavily into, these different holidays and such. They're heavily into, taking the children out to church and such. Because, even growing up, it wouldn't even be your father telling you, hey, get ready for church. It'd be your mother. You see? And bringing the point on home. So, she said, we don't have nothing to celebrate. We were still slaves during the time of the 4th of July. And you know what the Edomite devil said? The devil said, I don't think that's a topic that we should be discussing at work. See, because Esau, he's hurt. He doesn't like to talk about slavery. Slavery is a huge shame unto the so-called white man. He hates talking about it. He will use any means necessary to avoid speaking about slavery, because slavery is a huge stain on Esau's reputation that he can't say never happened. He honestly cannot say that. Now, I bring this out every once in a while. Back when I was in Esau's full system, in Esau's so-called college, there was a professor that was talking about, the early stages of America, and he brought up the slaves. And you know how this Edomite devil brought it up? He said, yeah, so when the slaves came over here, in my head, I was like, what? What do you mean by came? They just hopped on a boat and took a one-way trip to America because they felt like it? No, they didn't simply just come over here. They were put in slavery. and taken against their will by the so-called white man over to the Americas. You see? But that's a stain on Esau's reputation, and he hates to bring it up. That's why the Edomite devil said at my plantation, he said, I don't think we should be discussing that at work. And then the other Eve, not the first one that said, we don't have anything to celebrate, we were still slaves, but there was a second one. And she said, well, why not? It's in the history books. He got super uncomfortable, and you could tell that he wanted that conversation to end because it was getting tense. You see? And that's the spirit of division that YAHAWASHI is reintroducing into this earth, because for too long people are in the state of unity. Everyone's we're all one. They got that song, "We Are One," that old school song. It's like I can't sing, but everyone believes that we're all one, we're all meant to all get along, we're all the same. That can't be any further than the truth. You see, we're not all the same, we're not all one. All right, every beast, as it is written, every beast consorteth with his like. Okay, that's in the Apocrypha, in the book of Sirach. All right, every beast consorteth with his like. All right, you're not going to see a bird chilling out directly underneath a lion. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see a deer and a jaguar walking side by side. No, you're not going to see that on this side. Now, the king of the animals will be at peace with each other. That's spoken about in the book of Revelation, Isaiah, the 11th chapter. But on this side, you don't see that. Every beast consorteth with its like. All right? When you see a herd of sheep, they're all sheep together moving along. There ain't no all sheep and then this one wolf, or all sheep and this one lion. No. When you see a bunch of lions, they call it a pride of lions. All right? That's what a group of lions is called. Now, you don't see a pride of lions walking right next to a gazelle. And they're all just getting along, walking along together. No, every beast consorteth with its like. Every beast want to be around those that look like them. All right? Same applies now. Now, I've already reached my destination, so let's go ahead and grab some scriptures. All right? Because if you believe that this so-called white man, that he's really for you and he loves everybody and all that love nonsense, well, you're in for a rude awakening. He's going to show you how much he doesn't love you, especially when all hell breaks loose. All right? Because right now, everything's in the state of, everything's chill, for lack of a better term. But eventually, the pot, which is boiling now, but it's going to reach the full boil very soon. And eventually, you're not going to have that spirit of, let's love everybody. He's going to be, hey, I need to protect me and mine. It says that in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. All right? Scriptures speak about the love of many waxing cold. We're seeing that take place now. You got parents, drowning their children in the pool. You got different mass shootings going on. Okay? But everyone wants to be in that love spirit. This is Sirach chapter 33 and verse 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. That's true. That goes back to the account of the book of Genesis. All right? And Adam was created of earth. Yeah, that's true. When you look up that word Adam in the Hebrew, that word there is Adama, all right, which means ground, all right? And what color is the ground? What color is the deep, dark soil of the brown? That's like it. Deep, dark soil of the brown. What color is the deep, dark soil of the ground? It's dark brown. You see? In much knowledge, YAHAWASHI hath divided them. Who is the them? Verse 10, all men. See, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. So it says, in much knowledge, the Lord YAHAWASHI hath divided them. Divided whom? Men, nations, as it were, and made their ways, whose ways? The ways of these nations, diverse. So these nations, all right, their ways are diverse. They have different mannerisms, one from another. That's why you go to China, you'll see different styles of dress than if you were to go to Jamaica. If you go to Jamaica, you take a trip from Jamaica to Mongolia, you see a different style of dress. Then you go from there, you go to Nigeria, you see a different style of dress. Then you check out the food. You got Chinese food, all right? You have Middle Eastern food. You have African food. You have Jamaican food, okay? Nations have different mannerisms about them, different styles of dress, different customs, different beliefs, different foods, all right? So on and so forth. We're not all one. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted. That's us, the nation of Israel, all right? And some of them hath he sanctified. That's the nation of Israel. And set near himself. That links right up with Psalm 147, all right? Or rather, Psalm, what is it? Psalm, let me grab it. Some of them he has set near himself, right? Psalm 147, or 148, Salakia, and I'll just hit the point, verse 13. Let them praise the name of Yahawah B'Shem YAHAWASHI. And how are they going to praise the name if they ain't got it? For his name alone is excellent, his glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exalted the horn, that's the power, of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. So the children of Israel are the saints, and they are also the Lord's people, a people near unto him. So only the nation of Israel is the people, they are the only people that is near to the Most High Heavenly Father. Praise ye Yahawah B'Shem YAHAWASHI. Let's jump back. Sirach 33 and verse 12 again. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, that's us, the nation of Israel. And some of them hath he sanctified and set near himself, that's also us, the nation of Israel. Okay? But some of them hath he cursed, that's Esau, the so-called white man. What's that curse? The way he looks. Lacking pigmentation, that's a curse. Okay? Alright? And brought low and turned out of their places. Yeah, talking about Esau, the so-called white man. As the clay is in the potter's hand, the potter is the Most High. It tells us that in the book of Isaiah. All right? And the clay is us. All right? To fashion it at his pleasure. So the Lord Yahweh fashions man, that's the clay, the people, at his pleasure. All right? He does what he wants. So man is in the hand of him that made him, that's the Most High Yahweh, to render to them as liketh them best. So the Most High does what he wants. This is his program. Okay? Good is set against evil. Now, we as the nation of Israel, we're the good. And Esau, he's the evil. In other words, we're the righteous and he's the wicked. Good is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High. And there are two in two. One against another. That's called duality. You got up, you got down, you got left, you got right, you got fire, you got water, you got night, you got day. You got the sun, you have the moon. Okay? You have hot water, you have cold water. You see? There are opposites. Yahawah B'Shem YAHAWASHI created opposites, duality. Just as much as he has a righteous nation and a wicked nation. Alright? Let's jump from there real quick. I believe it's in the book of 1 John to bring the point on home. And that's why, because if you wonder, well, why can't we all just get along? Well, we ain't meant to all get along. You know? We ain't meant to all get along. Are you kidding me? Why would you want to get along with somebody that you're over? 1 John chapter 3 and verse 11. It says, wow. Let's start at verse 10. In this the children of the Most High are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doth not righteousness is not of the Most High, neither he that loveth not his brother. For this is the message that ye have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. And that precept for message is commandment. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, see, and slew his brother, that's Abel. And wherefore slew he him? Meaning, why did he kill him? Because his own works were evil, and his brothers, which is whom Abel, righteous. All right, now if you can receive it, Cain came back in the reincarnation as Esau. All right, that's why Cain, when Cain, he was cursed with that curse, which was this pigmentation being stripped from him. All right, then how was Esau born? Lacking pigmentation, because he is Cain. Esau is Cain coming back in the reincarnation. All right, now Abel came back in the reincarnation both as Seth and also as Jacob. Okay, so Cain, he's wicked. Abel was righteous, or is righteous, just as much as Esau is the wicked and Jacob is the righteous. Same thing playing out all over again. As in, there's no new thing under the sun. Why? Because you have the same spirits coming back, fulfilling their lots. All right? Fulfilling their same lots. Now, let's hop up. Verse 8. He that committeth sin is of the devil. Now, is not Esau known as the man of sin? Okay? For the devil, and why is he known as the man of sin? Because he's literally broken every law within this Bible. All right? He is that man of sin Apostle Paul spoke about in the book of 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. He that committeth sin is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. Yeah. Did not Cain sin in the beginning? Did he not wrongfully kill his brother Abel? He murdered him, I should rather say. Then he lied to the Most High about it. You know, the Most High, Yahawah, all right, asked Cain, you know, hey, where your brother? Cain said, Salaki, I'm a little excited. Cain said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? You know, he lied. You see? Now, is not Esau known as a forger of lies? Is he not known as the physician of no value? Okay? In the book of St. John 8:44, YAHAWASHI told those wicked Jews, he told them that ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning. Who's that talking about? Cain. You see? Which came back as Esau later in the reincarnation. All right? Now, like Elder Apostle Rakai always brings out, YAHAWASHI in a roundabout way, he was telling you that the so-called white man is the devil. And he was telling you that he's of Cain, right? That the so-called white man is of the descendants of Cain. He said he was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own because he is a liar and the father of it. See? So in a roundabout way, YAHAWASHI, not only was he cussing out those wicked Jews that was acting just like the so-called white man, particularly the Romans, all right? But he was also singling out evil E. All right? Singling them out. And he even called Esau the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. See? For this purpose the Son of the Most High was manifest, that he might destroy the works of the devil. All right? So now let's go from there. And the works of the devil in this time is his deception. And right now that's being all broken down through this knowledge, this truth. That's being spoken by the Lord's servants, the prophets. See? So let's go from there. All right. Well, let's even hop down to verse 15. Okay? Because if you want to, in other words, this chapter is, in a nutshell, telling you you're supposed to love your brother, right? Which your brother is really your fellow Israelite. All right? But it's also showing you that it's telling you also that the Israelites are the righteous and that this so-called white man, he is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And is singling out Esau's wickedness. All right? For the devil sinneth from the beginning. It just called the so-called white man the devil. All right? It says, verse 15, whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. Now, wait a minute. Whoso hateth his brother is a murderer, right? Let's jump from there. You want to know why this so-called white man doesn't sympathize with you, Jakes? Why he doesn't feel for you, Jakes, concerning slavery? Oh, no, I don't want to talk about that. You see? Why is he in that spirit? Why doesn't he want to talk about slavery? Oh, no, that's not something we should be talking about in the workplace. Why not? Like the Eve said, why not? It's in the history. It's in the school books. Why not? Then he got all uncomfortable. Why? This is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus saith Yahweh Baal Shem Yahawashi, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Okay? Why? Because he did pursue his brother with the sword. He literally did that. He's literally doing that. All right? Through these different cops and such. All right? And even going all the way back to the book of Genesis, what did Esau say? The days of the mourning of my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. He wanted to kill his brother. All right? And the sword represents destruction. He's still in the spirit of pursuing the Israelites. Just as he was back then, he was in the spirit of pursuing Jacob so he can kill him. And did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Yeah. Okay? So he's always going to have that hatred against us. Okay? He's always had that anger, that enmity. Right? Even going all the way back to the time of the serpent in the garden. Okay? Because he did pursue his brother with the sword. Who was his brother? Jacob. See? So Esau, he has a lot to pay for. Let's jump from there. Let's jump from there to the book of Ezekiel 35. Why doesn't the so-called white man sympathize with us? Well, he ain't going to sympathize with you. He hates you. And he's angry because he lost that birthright. You know? Let's go from there to Ezekiel 35. Ezekiel 35 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of YAHAWASHI came out to be saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. Now, does it not say in Genesis 36 and 8, thus Esau dwelt in Mount Seir? Esau is Edom. All right? The first home of the so-called white man was Mount Seir. And it says Esau is Edom. So we read about the Edomites, it's talking about Esau. All right? The word Esau in the Hebrew, Ishashwa, means wasted away is he. The word Edom in the Hebrew is Adawan, meaning red. What's wasted away on the so-called white man? His pigmentation. That's why he looks red. Especially when he gets angry, when he gets frustrated, or when he's embarrassed. He looks red as all, redder than a tomato. Ezekiel 35 and verse 1 again. Moreover, the word of YAHAWASHI came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, talking about Esau, and prophesy against it. I'm now down to verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. All right? Perpetual, meaning an unending hatred. All right? Because he's always going to hate us. That's why he doesn't. That's why you Jakes will never, ever get your reparations. You're never going to get your 40 acres and a mule. You're never going to get, even if they were to give you Jakes $1 million each. First off, that's not enough. You built this society. That ain't true reparations. True reparations is whatever they did to you, you do back to them. That's what's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. They put us into captivity. Therefore, they themselves will go into captivity. Every one of them. Jeremiah 30 and 16. You see? It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, because their hatred is still burning even to this very day. And what's crazy is, even though their hatred is still there, you still see them shooting down Jake. They still haven't given you your reparations. They still has Jake in the ghettos, the hoods, the shanty towns, so on and so forth. Not only that, but they're telling you to get over it. It happened so long ago. Get over it. Oh, don't worry about it. Oh, let's all love now. No, we ain't got to pay for that. That's how this so-called white man gets down. He don't want to pay for anything that he's done. And you Jakes, you're so far gone that you actually accept that. See? Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. You see? That goes back into the history. Back when the Babylonians were taking down the Jews, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, which are collectively called Jews. All right, putting us into captivity. You had evil E there, evil E, helping them out, forwarding the affliction even more, saying destroy it. And it also goes into slavery, all the different things that we endured. You see, during the time of slavery. Okay? From Esau's hate, the lynchings, the killings, the castration, so on and so forth. In the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Yeah, blood is going to pursue this devil. Okay? Blood is going to pursue him. Why? Because he's going to get taken down. And they're going to get shackled up and thrown into captivity, beginning with their international bankers. Said, thou hast not hated blood. Yeah, they love killing people. See? They love to kill. All right? Since thou hast not hated blood, what do they say? One of their slogans is, it's best to buy when blood is running in the streets. They love to kill. They get off on that. See? They have an agenda of mass death. Read the Georgia Guidestones. they'll reduce the world's population to around 500 million. There are over 7 billion people on the planet Earth right now. You know how many billions of people they want to get rid of? See? Since thou hast not hated blood. You see? Even blood shall pursue thee. See? So eventually, blood is going to pursue these devils because they're going to get shackled up and thrown into captivity. Their blood is going to get shed because they have not hated blood. And they don't want to feel accountable for what they've done unto us. So we already read out of the book of Sirach that we ain't all meant to get along, that our ways are diverse, and that there's a righteous nation, there's a wicked nation. That's why Esau will never sympathize with you Jakes. Why? Because he is the wicked. All right? He put you in slavery, and he's telling you, he got some nerve. You built this society, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You built this society. All right? And when you speak about your plight, you speak about your trouble, you speak about all the hell you're catching, even if you don't want to so much as celebrate the 4th of July, you don't want to stand for their national anthem and salute the flag, all right? Look all the adversity you go through just when you want to speak about the plight that you're going through. You want to speak about how things aren't fair for you in this society, all right? You got to jump through all types of hoops and loops just to get your opinion heard. And what does the so-called white man tell you? Oh, you shouldn't be talking about slavery at work. You know? They don't like that. Why is that? Because it's shameful. There's a scripture that says that they shall complain of an ungodly father. Let me see if I can find that. I know it's in the book of... Wow, that's the spirit. I flipped right to it. Or the spirit had me flip right to it, I should rather say. Sirach 41 and verse 6. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish. Because why? Because of unrighteous dealings. Injuries and riches got by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. Sirach 10 and 8. Right? So now, continuing on. And their posterity, what's their posterity? Their children shall have a perpetual reproach. Yeah. What is a reproach? A shame. So this is a shame. Because slavery is a big stain on their reputation. They wish that they could actually get rid of it. All right? They wish that they could just erase slavery out of all books and make everyone just forget about it and just never have to pay for it and just move on. They would love that. They would love it. But no, it ain't working like that. You see? They hate the shameful things that their forefathers did. Case in point, the slaughtering of the Gadites. Case in point, what they did to the inhabitants of Puerto Rico. Case in point, what they did to the so-called Mexicans. Case in point, what they did to the so-called Negroes. So on and so forth. That's a shame unto them. So you bring that up? Oh, no, I don't want to talk about that. Oh, no, you can't talk about that. So here it is. They can do wickedness. But when you want to bring it up, when you want to talk about it, no, you going off. No, you can't do that. Ain't that something? That's like someone beats you, but you're not allowed to cry out as they beat you. That's exactly what it is. All right? Here it is. They've afflicted you, but they don't want to hear your cries for the affliction that they brought upon you. That should show you how this so-called white man, this devil, thinks. All right? He ain't for you. He ain't on your side. It says, the children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. You see that going on now. The Edomites are being reproached for the sakes of their fathers because of the wickedness that their forefathers did. But little do they know, neither do they understand that they are their forefathers coming back. You see, you are those same slave masters that you can't stand anymore. You are them. You are those same plantation owners. You are those same overseers. You are those same slave owners. You are those same individuals coming back in the reincarnation. But you don't like talking about your history. And that's why they hate reincarnation so much. Because that would mean that they would have to pay for the wickedness that they did all the way back then. See? That's why they so passionately reject reincarnation. But that's all right. See? That's why the scriptures say, prepare a slaughter for their children for the iniquity of their fathers. See, that's another scripture they can't stand. See? And they are their forefathers coming back. Now, I want to jump from there real quick to the book of Psalm 10. Okay? Let's see. Psalm 10 and 1. Why standest thou far off, O Yahweh Bashem El Shai? Why hidest thyself? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked, that's this devil, in his pride, because he's proud as hell, doth persecute the poor. Yeah, we're being persecuted by this devil. You know, he's persecuted the nation of Israel. All right? By exploiting Jake, making themselves get richer and richer. Well, we're making, like they say, pennies on the dollar. You know, you work for a company, you make a little $15, $16, $17, $18 an hour. You may make $20, $21, $25 an hour. Okay. But how many millions are you making for them? You put your 13 years into a company, 14, 15 years into a company, and yet you're still broke. But how many millions or even billions of dollars have you gathered up for those that own the company? See? They're even persecuting you through your paychecks. Look how much they tax you. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. See? Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. What is their main device that they're imagining? Their new world order, to microchip everyone, to destroy and enslave the majority of the people. See? But their imagination of their new world order is going to come crumbling down. Okay? In other words, what is he saying? Let their agenda become their undoing. See, this is a Psalm of David. Okay? Because as they try to set up their new world order, the Lord, Yahweh, is going to send YAHAWASHI to put a monkey wrench in that. You know? He's going to put a monkey wrench in all that. All right? For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom Yahweh Bashem Yahushua abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his conscience will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. He don't even believe in a higher power. See? He doesn't believe in a higher power, and he definitely don't want to suffer for what the wickedness of his forefathers did. He don't want to suffer. He don't like talking about it. All right? Mom down to verse 6. He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved. Yeah, this devil, Esau, all right, he believes within his heart of hearts, you know, that he'll never be taken out of power. He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved. For I shall never be in adversity. See? For I shall never be in adversity. He actually believes that. All right? He actually believes that. But guess what? He's going to have to pay. All right? Real quick, I want to check something out real quick. We'll go to Obadiah 1 and 3. I shall never be in adversity. That links right up with Isaiah 47, Revelation 18. You know? I shall never be in. That's the pride of this guy. Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. That's why. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, who saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Who's going to bring him down to the ground? YAHAWASHI. When he comes back and revokes him out of power. See? So now, there's another one I wanted. I think it's Psalm 49, I think it is. Yeah. Psalm 49 in verse 11. Their inward thought, is that it? Let me see. Yeah, the inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. Yeah, that they'll forever be in power. And their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Yeah, self-explanatory. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beast that perisheth. Yeah, because all men die. This their way is their folly. What's their way? Their pompous pride. Them thinking that they'll be able to, rule forever. Okay? That's their way. They'll be able to rule forever, so on and so forth. Is their folly. Folly meaning their stupidity. Because they think they're going to rule forever. You know? They believe that they're never going to pay. They're going to rule forever. You know? That's foolishness. Because if you know this book, you know that the prophecies of this Bible will and must take place. And part of the prophecies is for them to get taken down. Yet their posterity, that's their children, their offspring, all right, their generations of children, as it were, approve their sayings. Salah, meaning meditate on this, think about it. And then when you go into the word approve, it means ratazah, which means will, or to accept, or to be pleased. They're approving it. They're cool with it. They're down with it. Why? Because they are their forefathers coming back, and they're reaping the benefits of the wickedness that their forefathers have done. Okay? You don't see these Edomites having a frustrated attitude with the way this country is. All right? These Edomites, they're pleased with the way this country is. The way that how everything's going, they love it. They love you Jakes being on the bottom. Okay? This is what they love. They love the state of this society. How everything's catered for the so-called white man. They see it as being nothing wrong. But everything that they've gotten was gotten through the wrong of their forefathers. Okay? Because if they was really about it, if they really loved you Jakes, they'll say, you know what? We're going to give you back this land. We're going to give you all this money that we've gathered up. Yep, you can put us into captivity. Yeah, we'll be subjugated onto you willingly, you know. But that'll never happen. So they are approving the wicked deeds, the wicked actions that their forefathers did. All right? And they never want to pay. But eventually they will pay. Okay? Let's read the next verse and close out. Like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them. And the upright, who's that? That's us, the Israelites. Remember, we're also known as the righteous. To be upright, another word for upright is to be righteous. Okay? Because the upright are us. The upright shall have dominion over them in the morning. You see? So we're going to have dominion, meaning lordship. All right? Over them. Who's the them? Esau, the wicked. In the morning. Which is going to be when? In the kingdom of heaven. Which is Israel's morning. You see? So when YAHAWASHI raises us back up, or when we're in our power, we're going to rule over these devils that believe that they'll rule forever. All right? Jeremiah 30:16. And their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. All right? So they're going to pay. They ain't getting off scot-free. They definitely not getting off scot-free. You know? All praise, honors, and glories be unto Yahawah, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Kakudash. And will honor some elders and my apostles of Great Milestone that doing the well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect, the afflicted, 1/3. With that being said, Shalom. RAWCHAA. Shalom.